Welcome back to Flagrant Foul with Rich and Nate, the only show brave enough to ask, did Hollywood Higgins just confirm the Chiefs have been playing with cheat codes? Are the Avalanche about to become everyone's worst nightmare at exactly the right time? Did Nate just hit a Jack Hughes card jackpot? And if so, how long before he starts referring to himself as an investor? And are eggs the most versatile food on earth, or are we just running out of things to fight about? This week, we've got March Madness bracket carnage, Guardian baseball, Ghost Pirates playoff panic, F1 in Japan, and the next two Grand Prix apparently disappear into thin air. Nate will now be making up races on his PS5 like a deranged Ferrari strategist. We're talking wrestling cards, hockey, baseball, conspiracy, breakfast foods, and probably at least one topic we had absolutely no intention of discussing when we sat down. So buckle up, lower your expectations, and let's fire this thing up.
Run this out. Run this out. Yeah. Hey, Cleveland roots with a reckless style. Take so bold, they're flagrant foul. Abs on the ice, Notre Dame pride. Wrestling talk pop culture, ride from Rich to Nate. It's full court wild, say back press play. It's flagrant foul. Yeah, it's flagrant foul.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 34 of Flagrant Foul. Not too much going on in the sports world. Well, not necessarily. We got some stuff to talk about today. We're sipping on some Joe, it appears.
No, I'm going with the afternoon tea, little Manuka honey in there. Make sure the old vocal cords are good, and yeah, feeling it. So not ton of big items in the sports world this week, but a lot of little stuff for us to get to. So yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Let's dive in NFL. So we're in the what do we call this? The lying period of the NFL, where pretty much everything you hear coming out of all teams is basically smoke and mirrors and lies as they all jockey in position for the draft here in about, what are we at, a month? Are we less than a month? About a month.
I don't know. It's like the last weekend of April, or last like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, some or whatever. You know, you get the point. It's the end of April. So I would just round that to about a month.
I know we've talked a lot of a lot of draft stuff with the Browns, but I don't think we brought up the fact that, like, it's not a great omen to the Browns 26 draft that the host city is Schittsburg, but we'll overlook that.
Fair point. But the Cleveland draft was one of the worst outside of JOK. So do with that information what you will.
Well, we were jacked that we got Jock and he fell, but then he's dead. Greg Newsome,
yeah, I mean, he was wonderful.
Terrible.
Greg Newsome's straight poo. Anthony Schwartz is also pretty garbo. So I can't even think of anybody else that was drafted in that draft. Honestly, overall, like, considering the entire league, I think that was a down year for the most part.
Well, it's COVID. You and I pulled up to that one, so it was COVID. It rained. It was on the waterfront, so conditions were suboptimal, but it was still fun. Fun. Yeah. So I would definitely have considered going had it not been in Schittsburg, but whatever. It's fine. So a couple things to touch on. I'm not going around the league too terribly much. Brown stuff we'll talk about. So they did some restructuring of Miles' contract this past week and then promptly came out and were like, we're not trading him. I believe nothing anybody says, but honestly, it probably would be the right thing to do. So that means that we probably won't trade him. But I've heard Seattle, I've heard Chicago, I've heard Dallas. I mean, I got to say, if anybody came to us with something ridiculous, nothing's out of the realm of possibility, despite the words that came out of AB. Be a reluctant happy birthday to our GM, Andrew Barry. He'll get a heartier happy birthday next year if our team doesn't freaking suck ass. But yeah, so I don't know. What's your take on the Miles situation?
Yeah, obviously, Andrew Barry claims Myles Garrett is he's a career Brown, I think was the words that he used. They're not trading him. I don't know. I'm in the same boat. We've been very critical of Myles. At the end of the day, he is the best defensive player in the NFL. Any argument could be made for best overall player, but I digress. I don't know. The Browns are not a successful team, obviously.
in any facet.
No. So here's the thing. I do believe that no matter how this coaching situation turns out, if we get the Shador that we had last year, which I think that's like at the bare minimum, he'll be at least as good as last year. I don't foresee him regressing. But I mean, I would hope that he has a better year. But if we have the at least Shador from last year, I truly believe this team could go to the playoffs because of how dominant that defense was. Judkins was a dog. If we can get somebody like Carnell Tate, who knows where they're going in the draft.
Yeah.
So that being said, like Miles is what, 30 now? We
Yeah.
probably have a good like 5 years at least with him, but he's obviously not happy. Like if you are gonna sit here and try to say that Miles is happy in Cleveland, I don't believe that. And if we get 3 first-round picks for him, I don't see how you turn that down.
Yeah.
We're not a team that's going to win right this second, and I don't know whether we have Miles or we don't. Like, it's not really going to change a whole lot. They're still going to be an average team at best. So if
Yeah.
we get 3 first-round picks, that could turn into that could be solid for us. That could make up for the Deshaun trade. It would kind of feel like we're back at square one a tad, but
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
think
I
of
think
like
it's
all the
definitely worth considering.
youngsters. If you think of all the youngsters that we got last year and where they're at, and then you have a good draft this year, and you're looking at 3 first-round picks. I mean, is there a world where somebody comes to you? Any of the 3 teams I just mentioned, Seattle, Dallas, Chicago. So they'll be, at least for this coming year, I would think they'll be low first round, but who knows after that. But they come to you and offer you 3 first-round picks for Miles, knowing where the team is right now, and you turn that down. There's not a chance I do that.
No, I'm taking that trade every time. So
I'm asking for David Putney too, just because I fucking feel like it. But little draft day shout out. But there's no chance I'm not doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess we'll see in about a month. I've heard some other things today. Read a couple articles about people that really think that the Browns are over the map, that they're really looking poised to potentially a big blockbuster draft day trade. And the name I heard was the receiver that's already been talked about from Jacksonville.
Brian Thomas
I don't know.
Jr.
Yes, we shall see. Other big things coming out of Berea, the change in the number from number 12 to number 2. Some of that has to do, I think historically he's worn 2, and I think his branding has been number 2. So I think some of that has to do with his off the field business ventures, but whatever. Normally I would be annoyed by that. Jock did it to me. Uh, I'm the jersey curse, but honestly, when he goes off this year, all the people rocking the number 2 ones, I'm just going to literally be like fake fan front runner. Because us rocking the 12 Sanders jerseys, we were all in last year when you were all dogging them out.
That's a fair point. I'm a little upset about it. I thought 12 was sweet. Thought it looked good on him.
Yeah.
I think 2, it's whatever. I mean, obviously, if we're winning football games, it doesn't matter. But I thought 12 was cool.
What are the other historical Browns number 2s? Like, you got Couch. What was Johnny?
Amari Cooper.
You did have Cooper.
And yeah, was it Johnny Manziel? Yeah.
Manziel might have been 2.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like Tim Couch. Oh, no, I've already talked about this at length earlier. One of our first episodes, Tim Couch was a lot better player than people talked about him as being a bust, considering he was getting his ass kicked for his first how many years in the league. I don't think he was. Any other team, he's a dog. So not the worst number to have. The other news is, I will butcher this name, Inessa, the
Sounds good to
defensive
me.
end from Buffalo Bills, that was sort of low key getting some good props for that signing. I guess last week we're going to bring him in. The Browns ended up not signing him and passing based off some things they saw on the physical, which was a little interesting because I think he did have some neck and concussion potential issues, but in the last 4 or 5 years, apparently he's been super solid and reliable and on the field. So maybe a little bit more to it then. We got cold feet because we decided to go another direction. We used the physical to maybe get out of it. So we did a poor man's Baltimore Raven with Mason Crosby, I guess. Followed their script. Max, sorry. I don't want to say Mason Graham and piss our boy Hayden off. So anyway, and then last thing, we talked about this last week. Jarvis Landry on his pod was just dogging out Stefanski a little bit and talked about handing over the coaching duties. But he also made some comments about, we've talked about it on the show about, what year was that when the Chiefs, the infamous helmet to helmet no call, where we definitely would have gone to this and won a Super Bowl that year. Hollywood Higgins on his social media posted and made some comments as well, basically alluding to that the Chiefs were getting the calls and officiating was suspect. We all know this. We all knew that, years ago. But as many times we talked about on the show, I just can't get over it. Like that, never was there more blatant of a helmet to helmet call, no called by the referees. So whatever. Well, moving on, NCAA bracket wise, dude, how are your brackets? Duke hosed me. I basically had them winning in all three of my brackets, so they kind of screwed me. How about you?
My brackets are cooked. Basically after like the first 2 days, I've stopped looking at the brackets. I had Duke winning one. I had Iowa State winning one for some reason, and then I don't even remember the third team. But honestly, that Duke UConn game was insane. Did you see that at the end shot for UConn to win it?
I did not.
Dude, you have to look this up. Duke is winning 72-70. 10 seconds left in the game. Duke is throwing and batting the ball. They get it in. They're trying to like stay away because I think UConn's like trying to play good defense and perhaps they're trying to foul. I'm not 100% sure. So they're like all on him. Duke's trying to get the ball moving around. They get the ball to about half court and there's two UConn guys on him. Passes it, gets blocked. UConn gets it, passes it like close to the 3-point line, and then he ends up passing it back to the guy like essentially on the logo. Drills a three with 0.3 seconds left in the game. It's the craziest play I've ever seen in my life. Which that's what March Madness is all about. So I did have Duke winning. Did have Duke winning a bracket. But I could care less. I just want to see good basketball. I'm rooting for upsets always. You're not a real sports fan if you don't enjoy to see an upset. And I'm looking for like just awesome plays, things we're going to be talking about for years. Remember when UConn pulled off the impossible to win? So it was electric. You got to check it out.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I did go with some upsets early, and I did okay in my first round or two, and then I did have Akron making the Final Four. So it wasn't all chalk for me. I had one of my brackets, but basically in the three, they're all cooked. Other than I did give, I have Michigan in one bracket and the other two I have Arizona. So I'm still alive on that side, but we won't mention his team name or his sad, basketball knowledge, but I love that he's winning. Dude. I love that AB's winning in our other league. It literally is the dude that
he was crying about it. He was literally crying about it. Kayla had to make his team for him or make his account for him.
Isn't that how that goes? See, what's going to happen is he's going to win. And then next year, he's going to be all about the brackets. And it's going to be like, did you see my bracket last year? He's going to all of a sudden be an expert. He's going to be Dick Vitale next year.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. Well, enough of that. I can only talk about basketball so much.
Yeah, me too.
It get old. So, but big news story in Cleveland. If you've been living under a rock somewhere, it's official. Chase DeLauder, certified dog.
Chase DeLauder is being measured for his Hall of Fame bust.
Yeah, they're removing the down at Progressive. They're removing the Bob Feller statue and currently taking measurements for the new Chase DeLauder statue that'll be going up in its place. Dude, first at bat, home run. First game, 2 home runs. Second game, he wins it in extra innings. They tried to give the game away. So he's been a bright spot. All in all, I don't know if we knew what to expect out of this Guards team last year. Horrible first half, and then they came out of nowhere to win the division. 2-2 for a first weekend. having to go to the West Coast when we didn't really know what to expect out of them, and getting to see a bright spot with DeLauder looked pretty good. The bullpen maybe looks a little suspect early on right now, using a lot of pitchers in that first series. I'm going to fully admit I know zero about Seattle. But yeah, we'll see, but not a bad way to open it. Did you get to see any of it? Just effortless at the plate?
Yeah, I actually watched the third game where he homered in extra innings. That was sick. Here's what I will say. Some people are like, oh, Chase DeLauder's not a rookie. He played last year. He played in the postseason. The postseason doesn't count, guys.
Yeah.
So he's a rookie.
He's
First
a
of
rube.
all.
Leave him alone.
It's pretty sick knowing that we've got Chase DeLauder. Plus, we are not baseball guys. So no one come for us saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I played baseball for 2 years in 5th and 6th grade, and it was bad. It was bench warmers, Howie eating sunscreen, using a sword bad.
I mean, we could highlight the pop fly out in the inside the park home run you hit for the championship Baltimore Orioles.
The in the park home run that I somehow by the grace of God got.
You
top three on my achievement list of my entire life.
The fact that you legged out an inside the park home run, I would look. You're crafty, but I don't know that I would call you a speedster.
That's what I was gonna say. At no point in my entire life was I ever the fast kid. Never. I've never been the fast kid. So honestly, the stars perfectly aligned on that day. Who knows what happened? But we're not baseball guys, so let's simmer down. All these people probably getting heated. Whatever. Anyhow, Chase DeLauder. It's sick having Chase DeLauder, knowing that I thought that Travis Bonzana, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Number 1 overall pick, Australian fella. He's a dog. But apparently we have like prospects that are like we'll see probably sooner than him. I believe this could be incorrect, but like just as good or better. So we've got a lot of young guys. So it'll be exciting for the next year or so before.
Till we can't re-sign anybody.
That's what I was just about to say. Next year or so before they head off to L.A. or New York, because the entire MLB is a farm system for the Dodgers and the Yankees, essentially.
Yeah,
it'll be a good little 14-month run.
Oh, I just thought about that. When you come home, we are going to be getting to see the.
We'll get to see Shohei Ohtani.
I'm kind of jazzed for that. Yeah, I might just turn tail like be an Ohtani fan for the day because the Rockies.
He's a pretty cool guy.
He is.
I mean, he doesn't really speak English, so I don't really know if he's actually cool or not because obviously don't understand what he's saying. But he just seems like a chill dude, nice, respectable.
He's filling up waters. He's filling up waters in the dugout. Just being a good dude.
So yeah, that'll be sick. But yeah, Guardians 2-2. On the record, they did get shellacked yesterday.
Oh, that was brutal. Was it 8-0? I think
I believe so. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But honestly, the Guardians, I'm pretty sure that the Dodgers are paying Shohei Ohtani like $70 million this year. Okay.
What's our payroll?
$68 million for the entire team. That's not a joke. And I actually I'm pretty sure they play the Dodgers today or tomorrow. Like their next series is versus the Dodgers. So no, I'm not joking. Our payroll is $68 million. I'm pretty sure Shohei Ohtani is making more than the entire team and then some. So
yeah, good Lord. Well, you know what? Going back to DeLauder, I would say things that were promising where he hit one off a lefty, hit one off a righty, both down and away, and then I think yesterday's he was up. It was high, and he's so he's taking balls yard all over the strike zone. So that's good to see. Also, what's with the eyes? Going back to what Nate had previously said about We're Not Baseball Guys. Listen, if you want to find a show that you could know a whole bunch of things about one thing, this is not the show for you. If you want a show that knows a little bit or almost nothing about a lot of things, we got you.
Yeah, this is the kind of place where it's like everything should be taken with a grain of salt. half the stuff I don't even remember if where I saw it. I'm positive that some things I've talked about here I witnessed in a dream. So that's honestly a problem that's bigger than it should be for me. I think I dream stuff a lot, and then I saw this somewhere, and then I can't find where I saw it. I'm like, it must have been a dream. I have no idea where this was. So
Listen, you
yeah,
can't get lost when you're striving for greatness. You can't get hung up on fact checking all the time.
yeah,
Listen,
just
I will
yeah,
say this. If you want a show that does zero fact checking, but is accidentally right a lot, our average
here's
is
the
not
thing.
bad.
We are in the
We're
ballpark.
definitely.
Like, we're not hitting the bullseye every time, but we're like if we're playing darts, we're like 3 inches off the board in the drywall. Close.
Yeah.
That's not that bad, all things
Yeah.
considered.
We're not scoring threes on the cornhole board, put ones all day long. Okay. I'm putting all 4 bags on the board. Okay. I don't know. Like last week, case in point, my whole Notre Dame wrestling story. Like literally thought I fabricated 99% of that. I think I got like 97%.
You were pretty good because you
of that.
sent me the thing to read.
I know. I
didn't
got
you?
like 90% at
Yeah.
7% accuracy on that story. So I would say our average is like amazingly lucky. I don't know. We're not bad. So anyway, moving on, NHL, we're winding down. We're about at 8 games left on the season, I believe. We're real close. 6-point lead on second place. The Avs do over the Dallas Stars with 2 games in hand. So that's good. However, Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood are both healthy. Wedgie is your number 1. This experiment to try to get Blackwood's head out of his ass needs to end. They need to go back to Wedgie as the one and spelling him with Blackwood, because right now, the Stars' schedule is harder. We kind of went through that little stretch where it starts to even out here over these last several games. They got to beat the bad teams. So like tonight, we got Calgary. They have to beat Calgary. A team a few weeks ago that you would have said was an easy win that we have, Nashville. I don't know if anybody's looked at Nashville. Nashville are been straight dogs as of late. That's a team that may sneak themselves in, and I don't want to have to play them in the first round. If you underestimate them, you're gonna get messed up. So that scares me a little bit. But they need to close. It looks like they will more than likely end up playing the modeling that I've done. I did actually do some research on this. We will more than likely end up with the Kraken and or the Kings in the first round, although there are some scenarios where we could see the Preds. It's that last wild card spot is real close. Second round immediately goes back in conference. So we're going to have the winner of the Wild and Dallas game if we win. That's going to be a tough second game. And then Pacific, it's probably going to be the Oilers, or not the Western Conference Final, probably be the Oilers. I'd much rather play the Stars after they have to have a tough first round matchup with the Wild. I think the Wild could actually beat them. We'll see. I would rather play the Wild over them. I think we smoked the Oilers. The confidence I had earlier in the year on this team, Buffalo, while hasn't necessarily have the track record, looks really good, and frickin' Tampa again looks really good. We could be seeing a Tampa Colorado repeat final. That would be a highly likely scenario. So I could be in for it, but I think the one thing that may be cool is we going into the game here in 2 weeks when Nate's home against the Kraken. They may be playing for something. So, good thing is, this weekend, Friday and Saturday. I don't know. The last 2 games we played. First game, we got Likey and the mayor, LOC, back. Or not Likey, we got the captain and the mayor back. So Landy had a goal in that game. It's good to see LOC look real good skating. And then this weekend, we got Likey and Colton back. So looks like Kiwi will probably be the odd man out. Brindley got sent back down. We're finally healthy. Please pray we can stay healthy and make a run. I'd like to use these last few games. Let's win out, and let's get the chemistry flowing here. So I think our depth and guys gelling is what's going to set this team apart. Again, when you come back to a bruising Stanley Cup playoff and we end up playing a Stanley Cup against Tampa, if there's a team that is got the experience and knows what it takes is going to be them. That could be an absolute dogfight. So I don't know. Thoughts on the Avs?
Watch the Avs game in a minute. What time is the game today? First Calgary?
Yeah, hold on. Philly did us a favor and beat the Stars yesterday, but of course they had to be an OT, so they gave them a point. 6:30 here.
So
that game will be on
here
shortly. Yes, sir.
All right, I'll tap in. But I was just looking at their schedule. How many times? Again, another disclaimer: we're fans. We're not professional hockey people. So how many times are you going to play Dallas? Like, how many times
they didn't play him a lot.
Or in the division?
Literally, that was one of the things about our schedule. Like, we didn't play them before the first part of the year, and after the All-Star break, like 3 games and 2.
They have them this Saturday.
So, yeah, we're playing there. So we have a bunch of games. So that's kind of tough. But whatever. I mean, we got to take care of business. Rantanen's back. What the hell's the kid that we talked about last week that's hurt? He is not. Is it Hines?
Rupe.
He is still Rupe. Yeah, he's still out.
Rupe got it up to Hoope.
Rupe did get it up to Rupe. I thought this was funny earlier. The other big news coming out of the NHL, Torts is back in Vegas, which I don't love that because Torts is a good coach for short periods of time, and then his act grows a little tired. If I'm anybody, the person who's dreading this the most is Mitch Marner, because Torts is literally light that dude up every time he does something stupid. So that one could be interesting. But yeah, we're winding down.
Torts help coach Team USA?
He did, yeah.
So, I mean, Olympic gold medalist right there.
He is. I think they need to do, I'm going to institute a new one for playoff overtime. It's a shootout, but it's head coach versus head coach from each team against the E-Bug.
That'd be sick.
Although they changed the E-Bug, though, so it's not like the dude from Beer League anymore, I don't think.
It's not Scott Foster anymore, or...
Dude, or the Zamboni driver for the Mapes.
I know, I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah, but what a cool story was that? I mean, that's never going to happen again, so that sort of sucks. But, so moving on, we'll stick with hockey. ECHL. I wore this today because they need some good mojo. The Ghost Pirates are clinging by the skin of their teeth to a playoff spot. And one thing that I think, I don't know if it's impacting or not, I did see that they had one of the Checkers goalie got reassigned to them. So I think I think they'll have 2 decent goalies. But one thing is they've had 2 guys get called up recently to AHL. So, that's one thing you're dealing with. You got these, not only do you have NHL teams potentially robbing AHL rosters, you have AHL rosters robbing ECHL rosters. Now, when we're getting ready to start this playoff push, they are clinging to this last spot. The Solar Bears, I feel like, have their number. So they took a poop. It was 2-2 going late into the third period and ended up losing 4-2. So that sort of sucks. The Icemen are on their ass. So it's highly possible full-blown collapse happens here. Hopefully not. I'd like to see them make it.
Here's the thing. Since we're fans, it's highly likely that, and I think that we did
prove us wrong.
I do think we made a oopsie poopsie not selecting the Solar Bears because the Ghost. Honestly, here's the thing though: did we? Because the Ghost Pirates they fit very well in our theme of disappointment.
Well, and also the Solar Bears are last place in the division. We just can't beat them, so it's not like they're good or they're second. They're at the bottom. They're not good.
Their stuff is cool, so that's got to count for something.
Yeah, well, we're still staying strong. Come on, Ghost Pirates. We need to make this push. Looking for a Kelly Cup.
If you want to keep us as your fans, y'all better win the Kelly Cup, or we're jumping
Nate
on
Yeah. Nate and I are going to be out there with bottles of Dom on the floats at the Kelly Cup Championship Parade. Maybe, I don't know. It's highly unlikely. But, if we really wanted to pick a team that, like, the Walleyes are good, cool logo, and but that doesn't fit us, right? They're Detroit. They're a Detroit affiliate. They're already good. And you could say a lot of things about us, but we don't front run. Even when we became Avs fans, they were coming off the worst season in their team's history. So, I think
the first year we started liking them was that they clinched the playoffs in the last game of the year, wasn't it? Or was that the second year?
It was the second year.
Versus
No,
the
it was the
Blues?
first year.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I don't know. I would say like some things you can say about it. This show, things were about 85% accuracy on unchecked facts, and we don't front run. It's just not in us to do. So we had to give the big reveal. Still staying with hockey. Nate, after the Team USA, gave it to Canada up the hoop and won the gold medal here at the Olympics. Why don't you give me a little background on this Jack Hughes card?
So I was scrolling on Instagram like the day after they won, and I've come across, I believe it's Tops. Let me grab it. One moment. Tops. So basically, there was a post and it said, "Get this super awesome, dope Jack Hughes card within the next 72 hours, and you have the chance to win this 1-of-1 signed Jack Hughes card." So you would get like 2 cards, and one of them was 1-of-1 signed. For $16, I said, I'll take my chances. Yeah, why not? So after a month of waiting for this freaking thing, I get this. If you look very closely, not recognizable signature on that. There's nothing on it.
So you did not get it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Nate was about to get into the whole cards and some alternative forms of investing. So well, you got to try. You know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep.
I get that quote? First of all, that may be the first time on this show I got a quote right the first time I attempted it.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. No,
So I have
that
a little
was one of your better ones.
I have a little unveiling of my own. So, we talked about cards that would be fun. I thought like a Biz rookie would be kind of fun if I ever ran into him, whatever. So I was looking him up, and then I realized like his rookie's a Pens card. It's not very cool and whatever. So I started looking up other cards of his that had some value to him. And his second year, Peachy, when he was at Coyotes with the dope jersey, was cooler. So copped that bad boy off eBay. That showed up today. Check on that bad boy. That's kind of a fun card.
Nice.
Yeah, for a guy who put up like 3 goals in his NHL career, kind of a cool card to have. So yeah, it was cool. What you think?
Pretty sick. I thought you were about to show the world of your prized possessions.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get into this on the show.
We can't hear you all too well, so just hold off for a moment.
Yeah. I'm back.
I enjoy listening to the rustling behind the camera, things falling down.
All right, I'm back. So things that Nate needed to do. This is part of Nate's inheritance and my unveiling. And I was going to try to talk about what Nate has to do to be able to swoon me to attain this. But he has his little Jack Hughes card. I started pulling out the Jaromir Jagr, the Yari Curry, the Eric Lindros, the Teemu Solani, the Brett Hull, the signed Jagr rookie, amongst other cards. But folks, you heard it here first. I know people don't believe me. That's right. That's the Grail. I got the Grail. The 79 OPG Wayne Gretzky rookie here. So that'll be Nate someday, as long as he doesn't put me in a home.
Let's go.
Yeah, I did there for a while. Said I was you could have all my other cards, but that one was going in. That one's going to the grave with me. But anyway, what do you think?
We got to get that joint
Graded.
If you get a 10, couple mil right there.
We're getting Range Rovers all around.
What is this? Think? This one? How come this one is signed? I don't know what that is. It looks
so
fake.
Signing a card. If you want to get a card signed, that's cool. Don't do it with a valuable card.
What is a novelty card? Like it's not real?
Oh,
reprint,
is it so?
Reprint.
So they did do a reissue, I think, in the late 90s of that original card.
Which one is yours? You got the reprint?
No, because I bought my card in the 80s. I have the original 79 OPG.
So how come? Oh, this one's a 6. Some of them aren't going for all that much.
Well, you got to look at the grading.
This one's a 8. A 6 will get you like $1,500. An 8 will give you like $6K. This one's a 3. What What do you think that would be graded? And mind you, they're
pretty.
pick that
I don't
apart.
know.
They're very, very tough.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know. You look at it, like I wouldn't even venture to guess at what they would grade it. It's a nice shape, so.
Have you
I don't
ever
know.
taken it out of that casing?
I have never taken it out of that casing.
That's good to hear. All right,
Yeah.
so we're sitting
I'm
on
not touching it.
a couple thou to potentially a couple million.
Yeah.
Cool.
Never
Cool.
know. All right. Well, I do want to touch wrestling real quick. We'll move off of our investments for a little bit, and wrestling wise, just a couple things this week. So I know fan voting for the Hodge ended, I think, Friday. Mitchell Messenbrick's winning it, but it was
He won.
interesting.
It was already announced.
It wasn't. Did you see number 2?
It was today
Jax?
at 4:15.
So Jax was number.
How did you see that
was
he was
second.
2 if you didn't know that it was already announced?
Because I saw, I saw it went on earlier today before the announcement. Saw whether it was the results of the fan voting. Which all that speaks to me is if his career continues the way it's going, that dude's winning 2 Hodges. What do you think? Yeah, I think he may be double Hodge winner. I mean, I think that's a conservative estimate. Has anybody ever won 3? I know DT won 2. I don't know.
I mean, I won a couple in my days, but it's whatever.
Yeah. The North Carolina youth tournament gave out the Dodge. I don't know. I just made that up. Took that bad boy home a couple times. Other things, coaching legend from Iowa, ended up being a Minnesota Golden Gopher coach, won some national titles. J-Rob passed away yesterday. So those in the wrestling community familiar with the J-Rob camp. So, that was kind of a big loss to the community. 79 years old. I guess that makes sense, but I was thinking he was a little bit younger than that, but whatever. But last thing, wrestling wise, have you been, I don't know that I'm really into it. I think I like the fact that they're trying to create an avenue for some sort of a pay-per-view interest in wrestling, but the RAF thing is kind of, I don't know. I don't love some of the matchups, and I also so you had Bo Bassett wrestled like a former, I don't know if he was a world champ or world placer, but I will say this, yes, he smoked him, but I don't even know how much into it that guy was anyway. Guys this isn't these dudes aren't training like they're training for the Olympics or the world champ. You know what so that was whatever. Wyatt won over an undersized, what's that dude's name? I can't think of his name.
From where?
I can't remember. Pat Downey lost to Trent Hindley. So those are some of the ones
Pat
that
Downey wrestled in it?
Yeah. But then there's some guys in there that were and it's fine, I don't care, but now they're starting to got some UFC guys who I wrestled in high school or not really had the pedigree, but they're probably training at elite level, but for MMA, but even with that said, you can't tell me that that's the same level of world-class wrestling. I don't know. I'm not that into it. I just thought I'd mention it. I mean, I'm not going to begrudge them trying to raise interest. I would say though, you look at Jax Forrest, you look at everything that kid has gone to, won, he's been in the world championships, almost placed everything. I still think maybe the Olympics is close, but even the world I think the NCAA Division I championships are the greatest wrestling spectacle in all of wrestling, regardless of style or not, just how hard it is, the field of teams, how guys where they're in, you've just watched a season of guys training and peaking and ready for this tournament, as opposed to we don't know what's going on with guys before worlds and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not into it. Are you?
I don't know. I do think it's cool. And if next time it's in Cleveland, I'm interested in going. I think it'll be here in the summer. So I may show up to it. But I do think it's I agree. It could be pro wrestling and be the thing people do after college or whatever. It could be cool. It's getting a lot of attention, but I agree with the people that aren't really wrestlers. There's this guy that was on TikTok. He stole Dylan Palacio's "Take Me Down for $1,000" thing. But apparently this dude's a total bum. He people take him down all the time, but he makes you delete the video. Dude's not real. And they had him wrestling in it. And I don't know.
Dumb.
A lot of like just I don't know. I think that part of it is stupid, but I do think it's cool. Also, like I get that like Caden Henschel he's a very large like wrestling influencer creator. A lot of people know him, like him. I like him. I think he's a cool dude,
I
but
like that kid. Yeah, a lot.
I don't know. Like I feel like if they made it a little more serious, like you could get like some more higher class wrestlers. Not like nothing against Caden, but
You know
I don't
what
know.
though? I
Like
would
if
rather
he's
watch him than something. I mean, you're talking. The kid's a hell of a wrestler. And he's dedicated to his craft. I like what he's done for sport. Like I have interest in seeing how he does again. Like when he wrestled Bo, I was interested in that. I had more interest in that than watching the match we just watched
I
because
agree with
like
that,
that's a
but
guy that takes it serious and he's coming in to roll. He's trying to be innovative. Like I like that kid.
I agree. I would like to watch him. Like I think he's cool. I have nothing against him. I just feel like it just feels weird to me because his senior year, I think. Well, his junior year, he was a national qualifier in D2 in place, but I don't even think he qualified for nationals as senior. Which I'm not trying to say like I'm a good wrestler or whatever. Like he obviously did better than I have ever done, but I feel like where are the other D2 guys? Like if he didn't even qualify for nationals, like there's other people that I feel like they should be bringing in instead of like just him, just because he has an audience and like people know him and whatnot. That's how it feels to me.
Well, I mean, then you got you got MMA guys that basically wrestled for 3 or 4 years in high school.
Yeah,
You know what
like
I
bring in
mean?
some like
He's that
D2
level is nothing.
All
Yes.
Americans and whatnot. Like that would be cool. Like D2 All Americans wrestling like D1 guys. That could be a cool thing to do instead of like bringing in UFC guys that don't know what they're doing, or like not that they don't know what they're doing, but like if you wrestled in high school, like you're not on the same level as college wrestlers.
So I'm glad you just said that because that did make me I had another thought about moving away from RAF was good wrestlers. So is it Crookham, the kid from Lehigh, entered the transfer portal? He's been hurt. He was an All-American. That'll be a good pickup if he's healthy for somebody. But also I saw that kid from Iowa who is the D3 national champ. He's in the portal. That's a huge pickup for somebody. Didn't work out at Iowa. I'd love to see that kid maybe go to a good program and see what he could do. I was excited to watch him like towards the end of the year, and then
Me
that whole
too.
fiasco kind of went down. So there are dogs at all divisions. I mean, everybody has different paths forward, but I mean, you're wrestling for that long, dedicated to your craft. It's just like, I mean, guys are so good. You think of the amount of like time and mad hours compared to like, some MMA guy who's been, you can afford to bring in elite wrestlers to help work with you, but that's not a substitute for like hours and hours and hours of practice. It's just not. So anyway, moving on to F1, man. So F1 this week, Japanese GP. So Mercedes looked to be a lock to smoke everybody. Interesting start. So Antonelli won it. He had a horrible start. I watched the first part of the race. Then about 5 or 6 guys, including Russell, pitted, and then like literally right after the pits, yellow flag came out. So I kind of hosed him a little bit on his race. Piastri made a run for it. He made a race of it. McLaren was game. McLaren strategized to the point where they almost pulled one off. Ferrari did take third with Leclerc, and then Hamilton got sixth. They were in it. They're still, it was good to watch those races. They're on Apple. If you get a chance to watch it, man, they're so fun. It's the F1 looks like the greatest spectacle on earth. It's everything about it looks so amazing. The starts, it's just like really just hearing some of we've talked about this time and time again about learning, like watch it. There's like, they got to save to charge batteries for their boosts. There's like the amount of like how cerebral you have to be outside of just the driving to manage this car around the track. But basically the Mercedes top end speed is so much faster than everybody else. Ferrari can out corner literally anybody on the track, but they're hurting on the top end speed. So that's really kind of the gist of it. And, it was funny because I feel like last year it felt like McLaren was running away from it. And then, Verstappen sort of made a race of it towards the end of the season with the points. You're hearing the announcers talk at this point of the year. I mean, it really just sort of sounds like it's going to be an Antonelli Russell fight for the world championship. Like, it seems to me at some point there's maybe some improvements in the engines would happen, and maybe that would change things, but it didn't seem optimistic. So we shall see. The next two GPs in Bahrain and what do you call it, Saudi Arabia, have been postponed for reasons everybody's aware of. But we're going to start a new segment on here. Nate, and as part of his F1 education, recently copped F1 for PS5. Getting ready to get the whole setup going on. I don't know if you've raced either Bahrain or Saudi Arabia, have you?
Mm-mm. I was doing like the career thing. It took me quite some time to figure out the game, but I'm feeling fairly confident now. Monaco is so hard.
You can't pass, right?
It's hard to pass even in the game, and like there's so many like I don't know. You just have to play it. It's so hard. But I'm starting to figure it out. But I was thinking going back to the race, I did watch like a recap of it. I didn't watch the race. Same things that you were saying. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think it's weird. It's so interesting, like watching and learning about it for us. Like we think it's so sick, but like I think the consensus is like true F1 fans that have been watching this for a while. Like they all hate it. Like they hate the battery thing. I think it's boring that things need to be fixed. So it's interesting to see how. I think it's just cool watching them race and whatever. But I don't know.
I will say this, when in like the 90s, early 2000s, it was a lot of the racing might have been different, but like the best teams won all the time. And you saw that there for a while in MotoGP. It does seem like in our year and 3 races that we've become fans, we're a lot of new fans and stuff. That it does seem like there's some improvements to see some racing. We've seen some different winners. We've seen a few guys like last year, Hulkenberg come up from the pack, get on the podium. So I don't know. I like it, the spectacle. I'm going to change my point. I would say going to Monaco for an F1 race is probably like got to be a top 3 event spectacle.
Bro,
what
you
was the
have
last
dropped
race,
spectacle a lot today.
I'm wearing my spectacles.
You better be banned from using that word.
But Abu Dhabi looks pretty cool. But the Japanese GP at Suzuka looks pretty awesome. That would be a pretty cool one to go to. I'm pretty sure Suzuka's the home of Honda. That would be a pretty cool one to go and see. But yeah, so we'll see. I don't know if you checked the Mercedes tweak their livery for this. Did the wolf wing on the front. It was kind of badass looking. I liked it. So their cars are cool. Although I will say, we won't get into the aesthetic conversation we got into last week. Although you can get way into it with Formula One. The Aston Martin and Mercedes cars are too close. Like we need to get the colorways a little farther apart. Also, Alpine, I don't like the pink whatever colorway. They need to fix that.
I like it. I like it.
I want it gone. Okay. I don't love McLaren. There's a few I actually don't love. But
I don't love McLaren either. Ferrari and Mercedes. Mercedes is number 1. I've been saying this since the beginning.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, as I said, we had a lot of sports things, but I wouldn't necessarily call them like heavy hitters for the week. But one thing I wanted to talk, we have a little bit of a tendency to get off topic. And this weekend, actually last week, I was eating a lot of eggs. It got me to thinking, can you think of one food that is more versatile than an egg? I mean, I challenge you to come up with pound for pound a better, more well-rounded, versatile food than egg. And I did I did some research.
Nice little sticky note.
Yeah, a little sticky note as I was brainstorming, but let's just go eggs breakfast. You got hard boiled, you got sunny side, you got over easy, but not only do you have over easy, you got over easy, over medium, over hard. Do like a little yolk. Eggs Benedict, so you like a little, like, whatever that gravy is, they do it. Poached eggs on toast. Scrambled eggs, omelet. French toast, you got to use it for the battering for the French toast. A scramble. Steak and eggs. Egg on a burger. Egg for breading, like breaded pork chops. Egg cake, cookies, deviled egg. You need it for pudding, custard. It's good for dogs' coats. You can make glue out of it. You can use it for composting to healthen up your soil. And it's a leather cleaner. Beat that. Beat that. Any food. Literally, like, even food that was living, like chicken, beef, whatever, still not as versatile as something coming out of a chicken's ass. Egg, hands down. I mean,
I never considered that, but you bring up a great point.
I mean, that's like, right? That's up there. I mean, and if I was going to, I guess if I was going to go another food, like maybe like potatoes, because you can do baked potato, hash browns, potato skins, French fries, tots, vodka. And then I'm kind of out. And, it has a strong start. And then you get to about 6 things and you're like, potato can't hold an egg's jock. This is not even in the stratosphere. So I don't know. What do you think? Are you feeling me on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree.
All right. Well, then, so after that, and my random take of the week, I'm just going to go through our teams. You can just shout out the first thing that comes to your mind. So I was going to say just fast food, but I want you to tell me. So our rooting interests on this show: Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Guardians, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Savannah Ghost Pirates, Colorado Avalanche, Cleveland Cavs. And we have some other stuff, but we're going to stick with that. I was going to say just what is their fast food equivalent? And if you're stuck, I'll let you go any restaurant equivalent. And I'm just going to go from the top down. I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you why. You can just shout out what you think. So Cleveland Browns.
Long John Silver's.
Oh, my God. That was literally. Did you just pull that out or did you know that?
How would I know what you put? I don't
straight up. That is so awesome. Look,
I can't read that.
That's crazy. Yes, because Long John Silver is like
they're straight trash.
So like looks kind of like a cool building. The thought of liking seafood sounds cool. You've been there. Go to the beach. Seafood sounds good. Big seafood guy. I want to like fish. We like the fish. Like there's a whole bunch of things that sound cool about it. Just like the Browns. Grew up in Cleveland, birthplace of football. The unis are clean. I want to love them. Then you go into the store and it's food poisoning. It tastes like shit. Like even the French fries taste like fish. So you can't even be like, I'll just have some fries. Like that's so insane that you pulled Long John Silver's. Insane. All right, next. The Guards.
I'm trying to think of what direction you went.
So you got to just think of it as of the franchise.
This is what I think. For me personally, it's number 1. But a lot of people overhate Taco Bell, and every time you go, it's always good. The Guardians, they are always like, they're going to be pretty bad this year, blah, blah, blah. And they always, what's the word? Overachieve. They always overachieve.
They deliver.
Exactly. So I'm going Taco Bell.
You and I are on the same wavelength, but I think I hold Taco Bell to a higher esteem standard. So very much the same rationale. Guards, overachieved. It's like you can go to a Guards game cheaper than pretty much everybody on this list. Like it's reasonable. They got cheap beers, but it just, they just deliver. I'm hungry. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I want entertainment. They deliver. McDanks. So I was in your ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay. Same reasons. Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Chick-fil-A.
That's funny. I didn't do Chick-fil-A, but I thought of Chick-fil-A because I do like Chick-fil-A is a good quality. It's always consistent, but that's where I went Taco Bell. I'll also say this was also the one where I threw a restaurant in, the only one, because they're about to say Morton's Steakhouse or Taco Bell.
Okay.
It's the upper echelon, pinkies out while you're eating.
They're synonyms.
Yeah, they're quality. It's quality. Good. The thing is, Taco Bell is just straight up delicious all the time. Morton's Steakhouse, delicious. All right.
I feel like Chick-fil-A is like prestigious compared to the rest of fast food.
I would agree with that.
And like Notre Dame kind of has that because of, academics and whatnot.
So feel free to think of the whole gamut of fast food. So it's not just like you got Checkers or Cookout or Chipotle, or if I think of the whole gamut. I'm not saying I use these. I'm just saying you have everything at your disposal here. So this is going to be a tough one. This is a team we recently started rooting for, and you know, the stuff, the pictures of it, it looks great. The Ghost Pirates, they look great. The logo's great.
Yeah.
The gear's cool. Like it's in a cool place. I want to really like it, but it under delivers for me. Will you go first? Because I want to see if you're at the same place.
I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind for me, shout out to the Colorado West people, Good Times.
Good time. Here's the thing, though. You know where Good Times overachieves? Their ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream, yeah,
is good. So
but
it
looks cool, and you're like, yo, what is that? I gotta go check that out. And then it's like, meh. Which is kind of how I feel about the Ghost Pirates right now.
For me, it's BK.
BK is overhated. Burger King is fire.
But I will say this: if you take a picture of anything on McDonald's menu, and you take a picture of anything on the BK menu, and you find a person who's been living in the woods for the last 100 years and has never seen either, right? They're gonna go, the McDanks looks terrible. That looks like the most delicious thing ever at BK. And the opposite couldn't be more true. Because McDanks is like up there with like caviar, you know, a Cornish hen, things like that.
McDonald's is fantastic. McDonald's is fantastic. But yes, for money versus what you get, McDonald's will always win. And
it beats
except
everybody.
for maybe Taco Bell. But Burger King is more expensive. Whoppers destroy Big Macs. It's not close. Like,
but
Burger
I will
King
say
is good.
It's the only good thing, like 100%. A Whopper is amazing. It's the only good thing on the menu.
That's not true.
The cheeseburgers are exceptionally mid.
I won't stand for this.
I will tell you, if you go to McDonald's, I'll give you 7 out of 10 times you're getting a fresh cheeseburger that has like hot ketchup, but you're like, this is good. If you do that with a cheeseburger at Burger King, like 1.5 times out of 10, you're getting you're getting a stale bun. And not to mention, I'm taking it down a couple points because eating Burger King in your car getting seeds all over the place. That's irritating. That's the worst. So that's what I did. I'm going to skip the next one. We're going to come back to it. Calves. Calves are another one. I'm going to say calves are like, we don't pay a lot of attention to them. We know they're good. They go ebb and flow, but the last 20-ish years have been a good team. It's kind of like maybe not my first choice to be like, oh, I got to go to a Cavs game or I got to go to this place to eat. But it pretty much is underrated and delivers. Subway.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
We're on the dude. I'm telling you right now, everything we said before about we're not experts on shows. The fact that you pulled Long John Silver's out, no one can argue with the shit we have to say on this show ever again. You're fucking awesome. That was awesome. All right, I took this one in the Colorado Avalanche. Professional team, literally just 10 years of just being awesome. They've given us our championship we've so longed for. What do you got?
I don't know. I think you can go a lot of ways here, but for me, and like where they're at right now, I feel like they're with McDonald's because McDonald's is like the GOAT of fast food. Right now, that's how the Avalanche feel.
Always delivers. I can get behind you on that, and they always deliver. Again, this is subjective, but I will say, like, it's in Colorado. It's hockey. It's an expensive sport. It's kind of a little bit of a bougie sport. I went Shake Shack. Shake Shack is delicious. And I needed to bump them up a little bit. I wanted to take them. Shake Shack has just got a little bit of a prestige to it. Okay. So, you feeling me on this? Well, that was riveting discussion. All right. Bonus round. I didn't have it on here. Pittsburgh Steelers, go.
And
you've already used Long John Silver's, so that's off the table.
Gosh, what's worse than Long John Silver's?
I got
poop in a toilet.
This is them. I got it. This is gonna be a blend of two, so it kind of hurts me a little bit, but I gotta tell it like it is. Circa 2007, 8-ish, I'm gonna guess. South Carolina, not Taco Bell, not Long John Silver's, but the multitasking Taco Bell Long John Silver's combo. Where like your shit's getting like fried in the same thing that the poop Long John. So you're like, dude, but I'm not getting Melendres, I'm getting the Taco Bell, but it's been contaminated, and you're definitely spending a weekend with food poisoning and shitting yourself. That's the Steelers. What do you think?
Yeah, I can agree with that. But this whole conversation has reminded me, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people feel the same way. I'm hoping that you feel me on this. Wendy's is straight trash.
Yeah,
And
not a fan.
anybody that prefers Wendy's is tripping.
Agreed. The only thing Wendy's had at one point that was going for it, when they had their 99-cent or whatever menu, you could get like the one burger that had like the bacon on it for like $1.19 or something. So like value was okay, but Wendy's is trash. First of all, if you put this is just physics right here. What do they always tell you? Stop trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And then you put a square burger on a round bun. That right there, you just fucked yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, their value right now is the biggie bag. You get like a 3-bite cheeseburger, 6 fries, and like 2.5 real nuggets for $5.
Okay.
And also the Frosty. What are we doing? That's not when I want to go out and get ice cream. I want like a milkshake. I want a M&M McFlurry. Burger King's got Oreo milkshakes. Arby's has Andy's Mint milkshakes. They've got the Jamocha whatever. That's ice cream. Nah, you want a cup of vanilla or chocolate ice cream? Here you go.
You know what that is? Like, if somebody gives it to me, I'm going to eat it. Somebody gives me a Frosty, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll eat a Frosty. A Frosty, as far as ice cream shakes go in the fast food business, is like, I'm at home, like you're home for the weekend, right? You and I have had a few beers. Beans just fed us good. Neither of us are in any shape to go drive to get shakes. We're going to predate Uber Eats time because that's your out now. But we're both hankering for something sweet. And you happen to find like some chocolate pudding mix in the cupboard. You'll eat it. It'll get you by. It's a pain in the ass. But if there's a pint of Ben and Jerry's or drumstick or literally anything,
you're picking that 100 times out of 100.
100 times, dude. We have never been more in tune when it comes to our talking food. Maybe we should have rethemed this. Fine. Hey, look.
Flagrant food.
If we can bring in a little food talk while we're going through our sports misery. Look, let's be for real. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you're eating your feelings. Okay? So don't say that we're not connoisseurs of the finer things in life here. So anyway, last thing I had, banger of the week. I'm going to let you go first. I have one that you're probably going to hate, that's slightly probably controversial, but it harkens me back to a fun time your senior year. And also, I wouldn't say it gets played a lot, but when it does come on, I'm like, it's kind of a bop now. So, but you go first.
Okay. So honestly, I really need to sit down and find some new music because I listen more to the sound in between skipping songs than I do to listening to a song. I've just heard all the stuff in my playlist way too much, and I need to make a conscious effort to get some new stuff in the mix. That being said,
that's fair.
Something new I've been bumping. It's not new, but new to me. Love is a Drug by Don Toliver.
Okay. We'll give it a spin. What is it? Is this a workout song? Is this I'm doing some homework? I'm just vibing out? What? Give me the right... set the scene for me to go listen to this to give it a chance.
I don't even remember what it sounds like. I'm just going to be straight up. I can't remember. I just remember it's the most recent song I added. I think I was working out when I found it, but I don't remember what it sounds like. I just know it was good enough to be added to the playlist. So
okay, I'm going to give it a spin. It's give me it again.
Here, I'll play it. I got it here.
Yeah, that's got some that's got workout music.
Yeah.
That's got some workout music to it. Okay, well, seeing that you did that, I'm gonna paint you a scene and I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay. So Let me set the scene.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You're in the car. So listen, you're in the car. You're driving. You're feeling some music. You're already. So this isn't like you're in a mood and then music puts you in a better music in the car, because that happens all the time. You're already got some songs that you're vibing out to. You're singing. Maybe you're on a road trip by yourself. Don't know if this guy's a good dude. Troubled youth. Maybe star too quickly, but guilty pleasure. This bop comes on.
Be fucked up if you can be right. Oh.
Little Stay
JB.
by the Kid Leroy with Justin Biebs. The Biebs. Nate's senior year, listened to a lot of Biebs. I know the Bear liked to spin that a lot in the old wrestling room, but you know what? It's a guilty pleasure, and I defy you to be like, "Oh, I'm too masculine, or I'm too cool. I only listen to metal. I can't listen to the Biebs." You put that on when no one else is there to hold you accountable, you're gonna find it enjoyable, and you're gonna like it. Okay, all right. Well, we're on the side. Interesting. I put it on right at the F-bomb part of the song. That was not planned. Not planned. So
it seems like it was.
Yeah. So for all of our younger listeners, I'm sorry for the strong language on my banger of the week. But anyway, well, that's all I got. Nate, less than 2 weeks, you'll be home.
I know. I'm pumped.
Pretty jazzed. We got a little Rockies-Dodgers action. We got a little Avalanche, Kraken action, potentially get in the mountains. Well, I figured I'd go get a towel boy for us to split. And yeah, should be a good time.
All right.
Hey, got anything else for us? All right, man. Well, you all stay cool. Have a good week. Stay classy, Cleveland, and we'll catch y'all next week. Later.
Come back, beat kicks and crowd noise, whistle blows.